Hey, I'm Andy Aledort. In this edition of In Deep, I'd like to demonstrate to you a really cool style of rhythm guitar playing that I first heard from an incredible blues musician, Chicago's own Magic Sam. Magic Sam was a great singer, guitar player, songwriter, an essential Chicago blues musician, if you're unfamiliar with him, Magic Sam. But he had a tune, an instrumental tune that he would do called Sam's Boogie that is truly incredible. And it was so influential that a lot of other blues guitar players created their own boogie thing that was inspired by Sam's, although to me, Sam's was the coolest of all. It's certainly the most complicated. Freddie King had one called Freddie's Boogie, and Elvin Bishop had his own, and a lot of guitar players. Jeff's Boogie is a whole other thing, Jeff Beck. But let me show it to you now, and then we'll break down some of the techniques that are used. There's a lot of finger picking and muting. It's really cool. All right, the thing about this concept in the first place is that it's emulating an open tuning by playing. So guitar players like John Lee Hooker would tune their guitar to an open A. So just like open G, you could strum across all the chords, but you're going to get the equivalent of what happens when you bar your index finger at the second fret on the D, G, and B strings to get an A chord. So adding those melodies it's a little more difficult in the standard tuning, but it has its own really cool sound. I'm sure many of you are familiar with LaGrange, and like I said, John Lee Hooker, you know, it comes from boogie chillin'. So let me show you what I'm doing here. I start with this thing. So you can see I'm just using my thumb and index finger, which I use for the whole thing. If you watch Sam, he gets more fingers in there, and there's this sort of washboard thing that happens. It's just so cool. And he picks, you know, very aggressively. It sounds amazing. And the amount of palm muting you use kind of accentuates that washboard, kind of train beat, you know, like a snare drum. So anyhow, So I'm picking the open A, and I have. And then it moves into the main lick. So I'm alternating thumb to index finger, and it's going to go 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string, 3rd string. And then sometimes I'll put the 6th string in there. So I might start, but then go and use the 6th string the second time. That way. Hard to do slow. Then I move here to D. So what's happening is I have major 3rd and the 5th of a D triad with the flat 7th. So nothing's happening on the G string, and I'm picking the open D string. So I start with this pull off, and then I'll move between the D and the B. And I'm pushing that ring finger a little to make sure that G string's muted. Go back to this. So that's a little bit tricky there when you get to the end of. You got to get that part of the melody back in. And then at the end there, I do this octave thing. And it's cool to do the octave with the middle and the pinky so my index can stay in that A position. It's kind of keeping that open tuning thing always there because my index finger's there. And then I come out of that section just like that. Back to the.